Why do the families of soldiers always cry? That's what a young woman whose loved one died in yesterday's BSF plane crash had to ask the Home Minister Rajnath Singh. She persisted with her question, but there was no real answer. In just a few minutes, I'll be joined by the Director General of the Border Security Force whose plane crashed. But before that, this story on how these men were honoured today.
An aircraft down, 10 soldiers dead, only questions remain. As they took their loved ones back home for the very last time, family members indicated not all was well with the aircraft.
Number of times he said that our aircraft is too old and it needs replacement. The main thing is that the plane was kept under the maintenance, sent out of India for maintenance. So if an aircraft repeatedly needs maintenance, then what does it mean?
However, the Border Security Force and the government both denied there was anything wrong with the aircraft.
ये विमान 20 साल पुराना है और एविएशन में 40 से 45 साल तक किसी भी एयरक्राफ्ट की लाइफ रहती है और ये 2 दिन पहले तक एयरक्राफ्ट अच्छी ड्यूटी करके आया है.
Sources, however, tell NDTV in the past questions have been raised in the manner in which potentially hazardous goods have been carried in these aircrafts. And Captain Bhagwati Prasad Bhatt was not scheduled to fly this sortie to Ranchi. But for the moment, for the family and the nation, it will be a long wait before they exactly know how the aircraft went down. In New Delhi with camera person Stephen Anthony, Shudhiranjan Sen for NDTV.
Well, joining us now is Mr. D.K. Pathak, the Director General of the Border Security Force. Mr. Pathak, thank you very much for speaking to us. We've seen some extraordinarily moving scenes today when the men who died were honoured this morning. Sir, as the leader of the BSF, how would you be able to answer the question which that young woman was asking over and over again? Why does it happen so often to people who are relatives of soldiers?
First of all, I would like to say that we are deeply hurt, deeply saddened by the tragic incident that took place yesterday. This crash was something which we don't know how to express, but we are very sad about whatever all happened, because it's not only the aircraft that we lost, we also lost so many precious lives, and we lost 2 very experienced pilots and several technicians who were responsible for maintenance of the aircraft and the helicopters. In fact, this aircraft was taking the technicians to Ranchi to service the helicopter which is stationed there. It's very unfortunate. Second part of your question is that about the age of this aircraft. I would like to say very emphatically, and there should not be any doubt in the mind of anybody, that this aircraft, although it was 20 years old, but in terms of aviation industry, this was not a very old aircraft.
No, Mr. Pathak, I know that, and I'm
it
not
has
going
so
to,
far flown.
I'm not going to ask you that, because I know these aircraft can fly for 40 years. But these are questions being asked by family members, and I'll ask you my first question once again. How does anybody answer the relatives, the daughters, the wives of soldiers who have died, saying, why does this always happen to the family of soldiers? I mean, you lead men in uniform and women in uniform. How do you answer this basic question in a time like this?
You see, it's not that only soldiers. Soldiers died. Yes, all of them, all of us are soldiers. Whether it's a constable or whether it's an officer, primarily all of us are soldiers. This aircraft was being flown by officers.
Yes.
All the pilots are officers. It has other rank officials also. They were technicians, but all of us are soldiers. So it's unfortunate that all those who were traveling died in this incident, but it could have happened with anybody. I will tell you that this aircraft has been flying VIPs, this aircraft has been flying us, this aircraft has been flying DGs of various paramilitary forces. It is unfortunate that it happened, and when it happened, it was flying some of the non-guested officers also, including the guest officers. It could happen with anybody.
But Mr. Pathak, we'll talk about the aircraft, because I do have lots of questions. But you know, in a moment like this, when we see those images, we see the Home Minister confronted by families and that young woman who refused to let go of him, seeking an answer of helplessness and desperation. And people can understand what is happening in the minds of people who've suffered so much. What is your force going to do to help the families of those who've died?
BSF runs its own insurance scheme. It's all managed and run by BSF, what is called BSF Golden Jubilee Seema Prahari Kavach Yojana. Under that, we are going to pay 20 lakhs. In fact, let me inform you that we have already paid 10 lakhs, so half the amount, 10 lakhs. It has already been credited into the account of the deceased BSF personnel. 10 lakh has already been paid today, out of the total 20 lakh which will be paid out of the insurance amount. In addition, from our various other welfare funds like Benevolent Fund, Welfare Fund, we are going to pay another 78,000 to each one of them.
Right.
This amount will be over and above what they are entitled to get from the government as ex gratia to the tune of 10 lakh. Besides that, the option of re-employment in the force is always there. There is government scheme of compassionate appointment in which any next of the kin of any diseased member can apply for job, and depending upon their qualification and all these things, they can be re-employed. Okay. They can be employed in the force.
So there is clearly insurance and money which will come in that way. And as you point out, sir, some of that has already entered. Re-employment also, but that loss which they're going through now, that sense of suffering, that would perhaps no amount of money can sort that out. But sir, one of the people we spoke to,
I entirely agree, yeah.
So one of the people we spoke to earlier today was the wife of one of the pilots, who said, and I quote, "My husband often used to tell me about the BSF and that it should get new planes. This plane may have been serviceable, sir, but over a period of time, 20 years is not a short period of time. Do you believe, sir, that the process of acquiring new aircraft should have happened faster?"
You see, there are 2-3 questions what you have asked. So far as this, I just said that even though the aircraft was 20 years old, but it had flown only roughly 4,700 hours, which by now I think in 20 years it should have flown minimum 20,000 hours. It is an under-exploited aircraft. It is underutilized. It should have flown much more. And for your information, it has already had over 2,740 landings. And 2 days before the tragic incident took place, it had flown officers from Bhuj. After the All India Disease Conference, it has flown officers from. It has been flying 3 to 4 days in a week on an average. So far as the serviceability is concerned, there is absolutely no question. In fact, I would like to inform you also that there are aircrafts as old as 37 years which have been flying in different corporates in the world. I don't offhand remember the name of the corporate which whom it is flying, but
sure.
I know that
you make,
one
Mr. Pathak, you make the point that the aircraft was
years.
serviceable, and that I can understand.
Yeah.
But sir, there are also some reports which suggest that when the pilot had started up the engines, he had noticed a technical defect which he had told ground services of BSF, and he was still cleared to fly. Is this correct?
You see, it's a matter of investigation. I would not like to dwell into the domain of speculation, because this cockpit voice recorder has already been retrieved. It will be analyzed, in which whatever is being said that the snag was pointed out by the pilot and the engineering staff, the ground staff, they cleared for the flight. You see, it can happen. You know, there are so many things, technicalities involved. Pilot may have noticed something which may have been checked by the ground staff, engineers, technicians, and they may have found it all right, and they would have told to go ahead.
Mr. Pathak, what did he indicate?
Please note one thing, that we do not allow any aircraft to fly which has got or noticed or found any technical snag.
I understand that, sir. But what is the nature of the complaint?
Just not compromised.
What is the nature of the problem that the pilot noticed, sir? What is the nature of the problem that the pilot noticed?
That I won't be able to say right now, and it will all be speculation. What I would always suggest,
but sir, can you confirm?
Let us wait for the investigation.
I understand that you don't have an answer, sir, but can you confirm that the pilot did indeed indicate there was a technical problem before the plane took off?
No, I just said that I won't like to comment anything on that until the investigation is carried out. Let us leave this question to the committee which is inquiring into it. DGCA has already entered inquiry. We have also ordered our own inquiry. Let it be inquired and let the facts come out.
One or two more questions, sir.
We do not allow any non-airworthy
plane to fly.
Another question you had asked.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yes. Another question you asked about the acquisition of new air assets. Yes, there is a thinking to acquire new assets. The formalities are being carried out. It has not crystallized, but there is already a thinking in the MHA for the new acquisition of air asset. And acquisition is, let me tell you, is a continuous process. Very recently, we have acquired various state-of-the-art latest helicopters. 8 helicopters we have acquired, out of which 5 are already arrived, and 3 are
But
going
sir,
to arrive sometime
you
by the
also
end of
had a
this month.
fatal crash in 2011 and a serious incident in 2012. I mean, one was a Dhruv helicopter. You lost, I
that
believe,
was in
3
respect
people
of
in
the
2011.
helicopters.
And in 2012, we had a crash landing which also
Yes.
took place where many people were injured. So, and now you've had this
Yes,
fatal
there-
crash as
there
well,
were-
which has taken place. So, in the last few years, you've had 3 major incidents. Is there some sort of shortfall in
You
the
see-
BSF?
No, I won't say that there is a shortfall, because as I said that even this aircraft, when it took off, it was technically perfect. What happened after takeoff, as of now, we do not know.
Do you have any
Let us
idea,
await
any
investigation.
speculation, sir? Anything at all?
Earlier accidents also, earlier crashes also, they were inquired. There were some mistakes here and there, but you see, all the crashes which take place, or for that matter, any accident that take place, there is always a cause behind that.
Yes.
What was the cause in this instant case? That we'll have to wait for the investigation to be
So
completed.
this is the second B200 in the BSF which has crashed. There was a crash in 1992 as well, sir, which was also a fatal crash of a BSF B200. Are you aware of that, sir?
I think we didn't have a B200 crash earlier. We had 2 B200. One is non-operational now. It is parked in the hangar, and this is the second one which was flying. One aircraft which had crashed earlier was a different make.
Sir,
You see,
this was,
BSF
I'm looking
has
at the
been having this
DGCA report,
aircraft
sir.
right
This
from
was on the
60s.
27th of August 1992, a B200 Superking Air operated by the BSF. It was a crash. There was 1 fatality in that particular instance. On that occasion, the DGCA inquiry report says the exact cause of the accident could not be confirmed. However, on the basis of evidence on record, the probability of deliberate attempt to crash the aircraft by the late captain could not be ruled out. Be that as it may, completely different instances. I'm just bringing to light, sir, that this is the second BSF aircraft, the same type of aircraft which crashed. The last one was in 1992. Sir, I appreciate your time and your candor in coming and speaking to us, sir. It's a sad day for the BSF, all those families, all of us as well who look on. And let's hope that the families can come out of this and the BSF can be a strong air wing as well. Thank you so much, Mr. Pathak, for speaking to us.
Thank you very much. Thank you.